Alright guys, it is Sunday, and I'm just stopping here at the bin to pick up a few things. And it looks like some more stuff has been dropped off. It's good. Computer. Yeah, this stuff was here before I left it here because I didn't have room in the truck the other day. But yeah, it looks like some good stuff. What is that, a dryer motor? That must be the old one. Oh yeah, see, it's the older one they put in the box. Looks like some cell phone boards. Yeah, cell phone boards in there. Speakers. A little bit of aluminum. What's in here? Smashed up. Smashed up RCA tablet. Huh. That is from a Wii. Again, slow cookers. Slow cookers for days. Alright, we are bringing this stuff in for the scrapyard today. It's a load of e-waste, and it's mostly just TVs and printers are the big bulk of what I bring in, and computer monitors. So yeah, it's Monday. My shop just called me for a scrap pickup at their place, and they got a bunch of stuff there for me, so pick that up. But gotta drop this stuff off first. So a truckload like this is about 40 pounds, 50 pounds, or sorry, 40 or 50 bucks, something like that. Yeah, so it's just a good way to get rid of all this bulky stuff. All right, we just got weighed up, and they make you go in through the back here, through a special door, and then you have to just unload everything onto their floor, and then they put them all on pallets, and then ship it away. All right, so here is the final. It was TVs, commodity TVs, 800 pounds, 5 cents a pound, 40 bucks. So 40 bucks for 800 pounds of TVs and printers and other junk. Not too bad. All right, guys, this is what I sold over the weekend. It was good sales, but I've definitely noticed now that sales are definitely slumping. You know, that's pretty typical over the summertime. So anyways, let me show you what I sold. Okay, first off, this is a furnace board. I already have it wrapped up, and I bought a whole bunch of these static bags, so I'm shipping all of my boards in static bags now. And let's say, you have a motherboard. I just bought this one size, but if you have a motherboard or something big, you can always cut it down the side there and then tape two of them together. So that's what I did with one other motherboard that I sold a while back. But yeah, anyways, this furnace board sold, and the guy paid express post. He wants it right away. $54.95 and $15 for shipping going to Ontario for a furnace board. All right, this is a little Capstan motor from a cassette player, Alpage cassette player. So this has been up for a while, but I tore apart a whole. I paid a bunch of money for this. I remember this cassette player, and I brought it home and it didn't work, and I couldn't get it to work, so I was pretty upset by the thing. So what I did is I tore apart the whole thing and I parted it out. And I have sold quite a few pieces from it, actually. I did make my money back, and then some. But this is another thing that sold. I took a best offer of $25 for this little motor, and it's going to Germany. We're going to use the least expensive non-trackable package. So it's going to go international air for $10.27, going to Germany. And this here is a furnace part. It's a drain condensation trap for water that's created from the combustion of the furnace, and then a little tube goes off here and into like your sump pump or wherever to get rid of the water. So yeah, I tore that off of a carrier furnace, and I sold it for $20. Just the whole thing with all the tubes and everything connected onto it. So $20. All right, this was a nice little sale. Sold this for $89.95, and it's just going to Quebec, so it was like $20 for shipping. Oh no, they paid express post, so it's $29.96 for shipping. Yeah, so these are really good. I was surprised when I saw how much they were selling for. Brand new ones are like 3 times as much that they're selling for, but I got this one's used. I pulled it off a washing machine. Include the knob. It's a timer switch. To take these off, it's a bit tricky, but you gotta take off this cap, and then down in there. You know what? I even forget how to do it. I think it's like a little tab that you have to kind of compress. But anyways, there's a way that you get this knob off of it, and then you can take the whole thing out. I found it to be a little bit tricky to remove them at first if you didn't quite know how to take it off. Yeah, so I always look out for those things, guys. They're right in behind the control panel of the washing machine. So yeah, I sold mine for $89.95. That's usually not how much they go for, but this one did. Usually, you know, they're probably about a quarter of that, maybe like $30 or $40. But yeah, that was a good sale. All right, I do not post these anymore. I don't make any new listings for these things. This is you know, the 3-wheel track from a microwave. But yeah, I do have some of these still listed, and so this one sold for $16.95, and I think it was $12 for shipping. It's going to Ontario. But yeah, I'm not really posting these things anymore. Yeah, just but that one's, I still have a few that are listed right now. All right, last but certainly not least, this was a real nice little sale over the weekend. So I did an auction, and this thing sold for $217.50 and $14 for shipping. It's going to Ontario. So Pentax Cameras, look out for Pentax. This one is a model LX model, 35mm, comes with the lens, and I put it up for parts of repair. Basically what's happening is that the shutter is staying open. You know, you click it and it just go click. It's supposed to go click click like really fast, but it's just the shutter is just staying open. Something like this though, I would say it's definitely worth bringing it in and having it serviced, you know, paying like whatever it is, like $100 or $200 to have it serviced and cleaned, and then trying to sell it, because this model here, I've seen them sell on eBay for $600 or $700. This one here, I've had it sitting on the shelf for so long, and I was just, you know, there's a camera place in town, but it's downtown, and I just knew I would never bring it in. So I just thought, hey, I'll just sell parts of repair, try to explain the problem that I was having as best I could. And so I had people messaging telling me that it's a simple fix, or I don't know. But I don't really care. Just, you know, pass it on to someone who knows cameras, who wants it, who likes it. And yeah, hopefully it's an easy fix for him and he gets a good deal. All right, so we just got home. I picked up a few things at the bin. It's just a big bag of batteries. You know, your basic old boring alkaline batteries, and then a phone and some other stuff, nothing very exciting, but I'll show you what I got at the shop. HVAC pickup, central air conditioner, ACR. I'm going to take apart, and it's pretty happy that I found out my yard will now take these big compressors. They give me 11 cents a pound, which is great, because you know, you can probably make something this heavy, you know, probably like $5 or $6, I think. At the shop, they also got 2 hot water tanks. And this is the other stuff that's been piling up that I need to go through. The treadmill is just a really good piece, and some furnaces there. And that's just scrap still. Yeah, the lawn tractor is pure scrap. I took some wiring off of it. I have a grill here that I need to take apart, and a computer, some other steel down there. This is all dirty aluminum that I'm going to bring in. Scrap, garbage can. More scrap steel there. Some other stuff down there. Pool pumps. And this is my shreddable steel pile right now. It's really getting big, getting out of hand. Gotta start bringing it in. I really like storing it over on this side here, because I can just back the truck in and with the trailer and just start, you know, throwing it in. I used to have it in that other yard on the other side of that trailer. I used to be storing it over there. I could never back my truck in well enough, so started storing it out here. I like this a lot better. All right, it's Tuesday morning, and I'm going to package this stuff up. This stuff you sold yesterday. I'll go through it. I'll show you what I sold. This is a pack of corks. So these are I don't believe they're the real cork. I think they're synthetic. Anyways, I listed them for $6.99. Really low sale, but I just felt like listing it. I found these on garbage night. I think it was. These were being used as a craft. Someone had glued them all around like this wreath, and they were making a craft, and then they threw in the garbage, and I saw it, and I grabbed it, and I took them all off. They were glued on. I took all the glue off of each one, and I put in a pack of 30, and listed it $6.99, and I think they paid $12 or so for shipping, so it was just a small sale. Alright, next thing that sold here, this is a bottle of perfume. It's called Lotus by Yardley. It's cologne, and this is something that we found at a clean out that we did, and the clean out was in our little town here. Someone had an old flea market or slash junk store that closed, and they moved out and they left all their junk behind. So we helped out the owners, the property owners, to clean out some of that junk that was still there. So that's one of the things that we pulled out, and we sold that for $39.95. $39.95, and they paid $17 for shipping. That's going to Virginia. Another little furnace, range switch, stove, oven sold. This is a 2400 watt, so that's the bigger one. That would be the 8-inch burner element. So that's the control that controls that. These things are selling left, right, and center. Selling them all the time. Really good little thing to sell. Easy to pull. And yeah, so that one sold for $26.95. And it's just going to Alberta. It's $17, I believe, for shipping. Alright, next here, this is a Torken fan that we found at the clean out of a storage locker that we did. So that was a storage locker, the same place that I found the medallions and the silver coins. And I found two of these fans, a little blue one that we already sold, and this is a bigger one. It's nice. It's 4 blades, and it's really heavy cast iron base. And yeah, so we sold that $44.95 and $30 for shipping. It's going to Massachusetts. Oh yeah, this is going to Ryan. And Ryan, thanks brother for buying this from me. He sent me a message saying that he saw my YouTube videos and he went onto my store and he bought this from me. So I think that's really cool. So thanks so much, Ryan. I'm going to package it up real nice for you and ship it off to Massachusetts. Alright, so this is a little capacitor here that I sold from a furnace, and it's the run capacitor for the blower motor at the very bottom. And so I still pull these out, and some of them are good to sell, some of them are really cheap to find on the internet, so I don't sell them. But this one here, harder to find from an older furnace. So I sold that for $19.95 and $17 for shipping. It's going to Missouri. Okay, the last thing that sold here, these are some shelves. So these are floating shelves for the wall. You see there, they hook up, and the brand name is called the Bombay Company. These are another find from the storage locker. So this storage locker thing has really paid off. Mind you, I was thinking like it would be neat to do another storage locker, but I just wouldn't want to have to buy it. I know like you see those shows like Storage Wars and whatnot. But those guys are paying a lot of money for these storage lockers. This one that I did, I mean, it was just a personal favor, so we got the storage locker for free. But we found lots of cool stuff in it. Even though it didn't look like there was much in this storage locker when we first started. But yeah, it's definitely paying off. And plus we have some really nice furniture on our front porch too. So yeah, anyways, that sold for the two of them together, $66 thereabouts, and $34 for shipping. That's going to Florida. What's up, guys? I was just out here, and my friend stopped by. I was out here working on the scrap pile. I have a friend. He is into flea market stuff. He's old school though. He doesn't sell anything online. He deals with like he has a flea market store, flea market booth rather. And so he said he was cleaning out his basement and decided to bring over some stuff to me. So this is just some boxes of things that he brought out. And check it out. An old Atari. I asked him, I said, hey man, this is pretty nice stuff. Like, what do you want for it? He said, oh, nothing. Just take it. And I think the point I'd like to make about that is that if you are known as a person who will just take everything, you know, if you're known as a person that when people want to get rid of something, they know who will take it. So if you get that reputation, things will just start coming to you. And, you know, that's what's happened here. So he brought over his Atari. It's a 5520 ST. So I just looked it up, and it's a good model. Like they're selling for probably $200 or $300 on eBay, but it's not like super popular. But there's lots of other goodies down here that I haven't looked at yet. So those are the floppies. Disk drives have a couple instruction booklets. That thing. There's all the power supplies down there. Atari Mouse. And there's a joystick here. I don't know if it's an Atari joystick or what. There's no sticker on it. But it has the right adapter. Oh man, I remember I remember when I was a kid I actually played. I remember that adapter. Yeah, and then it just has all these chunky pin connectors. Something else down there. Yeah, this thing's kind of neat. It's like a switching module, so mouse adapter, so you can switch between the mouse and the joystick. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then there's the monitors too. So that's the Atari monitors. You know, it's not too big. You can ship something like that, so it's worth not throwing out. That's for sure. He also brought, you know, a bunch of phones that he had lying around. And yeah, that's nothing. Oh, just the one other thing was that he brought an old laptop. Yeah, Windows 95. Looks like it's in good working order. You know, it's very nice and clean. Looks like someone was trying to sell it for $10. Yeah, my friend here, I met him at the auction. So I was always seeing him around the local auctions. So we always chat whenever we meet up at the auctions, and he's been over to my place a few times, and he's a reseller, so he's always interested in things that I have. Just finished taking apart this barbecue. Lots of non-ferrous in this guy. This is all cast aluminum. Big pieces here, chunky pieces. A bit difficult to take apart though. It had all these screw holes here. Actually, I forgot one right over there. Yeah, and then this is the base for it. And this is like a stainless steel pan. And lots of stain in this one. Little bits and pieces, aluminum, fistful of brass. And that's all stainless too. I almost threw that in the shred pile. But then I took a closer look, hit it with a magnet. And then I took it on the angle grinder. And it sparked. So that's how I usually tell. Make sure it's stainless. If you see sparks coming off of it on the bench grinder, then you know it's stainless steel. Also, you know, you can hit it on the ground and makes like a high-pitched ding sound. But I also find like some pieces of aluminum do that too. They also make the same sound, so it's hard to tell that way. These here, I usually take that out, that little piece of brass out with a socket, but this one here is just rounded. It's much older barbecue. So the newer ones though will have that. You can take that out with a 20mm socket or somewhere around that. And this is a good piece of stain. So just gonna put it on my stainless bucket. Doesn't pay very much, but it's better than nothing. I think stainless is like around 40 cents a pound right now. It's Wednesday, and I'm going to show you what I sold last night. So right over here, this is just a lot of McDonald's jerseys. They're collectible jerseys from McDonald's from 2003. I've had them up on eBay for a while, and I finally took a best offer of $15, and it's about $15 for shipping as well, going to Saskatchewan. So they're just older ones, but still collectible. This one's actually missing the stand for it, so I noted that in the listing as well. But yeah, that's probably the nicest one of the whole bunch right there. All right, next here, this is hard drive, 1.5 TB, and sold that for didn't realize, sold that for $49.95. I thought it was listed lower, so $50. Been formatted, so it's all clean and tested, works great. So that is going to Ohio, and they paid $20 for shipping. So this here is sold this morning. This is a part for a Filter Queen vacuum cleaner. So Filter Queen, really good name of vacuum. Their models, this is from the 1970s, so it's a vintage one, but the model just has stayed the same this entire, through the decades. So you can buy a new Filter Queen vacuum. It's practically the same design as it was back then. So anyways, this is like a dome, I don't know. That's like where there's like a little filter that sits on top there, and there's a couple of gaskets that go on top. So anyway, sold that for $24.95, and it has $20 for shipping. Last thing that sold here, this is an aluminum platter from a turntable, Sony turntable. I parted out this Sony turntable a while ago, maybe like 6 or 7 months ago, and just finally sold that part. So that's going all the way to Norway, and I didn't have international shipping on this before. The person messaged me and asked me if I could send it to Norway, and so what I did is I revised the listing, and I included 2 shipping options, which were a small packet ground and small packet airmail, because he said he doesn't mind waiting for it, and he understands that there's no tracking for those 2 shipping options. So it was $23 for shipping, and he's chosen to go ground, which is by the boat. So that's going to go on the boat across the ocean all the way to Norway, and it was $29.95 for the item. I really don't like using that option for ground to go, across the ocean. It's just because it takes so long. I once sent a item to Italy. It took 10 weeks for that thing to get to Italy. I remember that. But finally got there. Now that's Italy. I think the Baltic, Scandinavian countries, UK, Spain, France. I think those Eastern Europe, that's more faster, but once you start going more west, it's slower. But yeah, so I don't usually add that shipping option for my items, but I don't mind doing it when they message me and we talk about it and they understand. Anyway, so that's what sold. I'm going to package that stuff up, send it to the post office today. Alright, just stopped on the side of the road here to pick up some stuff. I just did a pickup at the HVAC shop, and they gave me a nice water boiler. It was a small pickup, but high copper content, and I found that inside the road. Now I just stopped here to grab this. That's nice wood. Alright, Friday morning, and this is what I got from the shop yesterday. I didn't do anything with it last night. It was real windy, had a big thunderstorm. So I just went downstairs and worked on the computer a bit. But this is what I got from the shop. A water boiler, just oozing with copper. Look at it all. Copper and brass. And we have one of these motors again. I've sold my last one already. I sold it for $70, so I'm going to pull that one off again. And all these little relay switches down there, those are about, like $15 or so. And then so there's 2 of these ACR rads. Lots of copper off of it. So definitely a good little score from the shop. And then that's the plenum, the insert. I imagined it was maybe went in there. I'm not sure, or that was somewhere else. Anyways, lots of copper off of that. And then a couple random pieces of copper and brass. And some brass on this pipe that I'm going to take off. Aluminum low copper. Got some more of that stuff from them. Alright, and on the way back from the shop, I found this stove. So it's pretty rough looking, right? There's still opportunity here, though. You lift it up, and you will see that it's missing 2 of these elements. But this guy here, this guy's really good. It looks a little rusty, but that's just like some dust or something. So it's still worth taking a look at taking that one off. And that smaller one too. The smaller one actually looks a little bit scuffed up, but it's from all the grease down there. And that one I believe is just like a plate warmer. Here there are the burner switches and this here. So you got that whole clock assembly. See, lots of different buttons, so you can tell it's a more expensive one. All right, just opened it up, and it looks like the burner is inside here. I have a feeling though, like usually if they were to take it out, it's got a little bit of damage there. I have a feeling that if they took it out like this, it may be defective. Yeah, I can see it right there. No, that's not it. Usually you can see a break in the coil somewhere, like a burn mark. Oh yeah, I see it right there. Right there. Burned. So that's garbage. Take it all apart. Someone cut the cord off of it. But I love getting ranges. They're a good little thing to part out. Lots of parts off of them. Last thing that I found on the way home yesterday was a whole pile of wood. So, this stuff's good to keep around. I mean, I got lots of space, so why not, right? It's good to have on hand in case of projects, The guy came up to me and was pretty happy that I was taking all of his wood. He's like, better than landfill. There's the copper from that boiler. It's not too bad. And I also have these rads from the boiler too. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and these ones are really thick. As you can see there, it's spitting out just water. It's not the oil like the other ACRs that I get. Guys, Thursday morning, just getting through all this stuff here. I sold 4 things last night. This is a fistful of wire, 100 feet of cable that I cut off of a big spool that I got from an auction. I have one more available in my store. This one sold, and sold for $50. It's going to Quebec. So I have one more available. I think I've sold like 8 of them. So it was a really, really good sale. If you ever get wire like this, it may be worth your time to just, cut off 100 feet and make a whole bunch of listings for it on eBay. All right, this is water valve from a Samsung washing machine. So you have all the solenoids there, and that's for the hot and cold water to go into the washing machine. Sold that for $34.95, and it's going to Quebec. So about $14 for shipping. I already packaged this up. This is another stove burner switch. So I've been selling a lot of these. So what I do is I just wrap it in bubble wrap. Use like 1 or 2 squares of bubble wrap. There's all my bubble wrap right there. I keep it all handy. And then I take like a piece of scrap cardboard. There's lots. That's all paper recycling. So I take scrap cardboard and then I wrap it around that just to give it a bit of extra protection. And then I just use the paper envelopes. I have a whole bunch of them up here. Like these things here, paper envelopes. See, I bought like 500 of them, and it was like really cheap, like $30 or so. And I have poly mailers, but I know everyone really likes poly mailers. For the stuff that I sell, I don't really use them very often. But yeah, I can understand, like, totally, if you're selling things like shirts or shoes, it's really easy to throw them in a poly mailer rather than a paper envelope. But for the little switches and stuff, I find this is, that works just fine. All right, last thing that sold, some furnace elements. So this is from an electric furnace. Yeah, pulled these out probably last year, and I posted them on eBay. So they finally sold. So 4 of them sold. He bought 4 at a time, and I have 4 more. So I had 8 in total. So I have 4 more left in my store right now. So I pulled 8 of them out of this furnace. And so yeah, there's just an element, that hooks up to the electricity for an electric furnace. Sold them each one for $34.95, so it's a total of $139 with $17 for shipping. It's going to Quebec. And yeah, it's going to Quebec. Quebec still has like really cheap electricity rates. Here today, working away at this stuff and scrapping out, collecting some parts from the furnaces. That's a whole bunch of copper there, and you know, a couple more furnace parts that I'm taking out. And so anyways, just got a picture text about my bin. And then see, this place was just full of stuff. It's all cleared out now. Just have one more furnace to go through. And I also want to take out this the deck on this lawn tractor here. I was actually looking at it. It's not that bad. You know, I found that this lawn tractor is just like this in front of someone's house. But you know, the deck, it's pretty good. I think I'll take that off and try and sell that. Yeah, anyways, like I was saying, just got a text message about my bin. It is full of routers, batteries, snowblower. And I saw a couple big TVs there too, but there's probably some other good stuff there. So I gotta clear out this junk and get going. Brake routers, batteries, a little snowblower action, a little skill saw. It's like small engine parts mostly. To this giant TV, a Wega. It's not a Vega, it's a Wega. And a little pretend snowblower. These two things. Cords have been cut. And a suitcase. Looks like a vintage suitcase actually. Maybe resellable. Alright, are you guys ready to see what's in here? Vintage Singer sewing machine. I think that's missing a foot pedal. It is a 306K. I'll be able to make money off of this guy. And oh man, look at the size of this TV. Alright, I did it. So I got it up there. Look at it. It just takes up practically the whole back of my truck. Oh my god. So yeah, I put on the dolly and then I get a strap and then I hook it, you know, on the back of the dolly like this. And so that way, you know, I'm not having to bend over, and I just lift it up like this and I get it to a certain height, and then I can just slide it onto the back of the truck. There we have it. Got the rest of it all piled up. That wasn't so bad compared to that TV. Oh jeez, you know, I just was starting to pull away, and someone dropped off TV here at the grocery store loading dock. It's like, could they not figure it out that my bin is right there? It's just I don't want to make this grocery store mad, you know, if they start getting crap piled up here. I'm gonna maybe move this somewhere else. I'm gonna get rid of it. You know, I'm sure the grocery store won't really care. Saturday right now, and we just got a report of a lawn tractor in town. So I'm gonna go and pick it up. I have these grates that I've used before, and that way we can put them on the tailgate and then just kind of pull the tractor up on those. We'll see if it's there though. It may not be there. Maybe just got back home. There was no lawn tractor. Either someone already took it, or it was someone at the house kind of just parked their lawn tractor at the end of the laneway. Made it looked like it was someone who was getting rid of it. Anyways, no worries there. I just picked up a little barbecue in town, and back there is a paper shredder from my bin. Found these two half decent sizes of chipboard, plywood. Keep that for something. And at the bin I also found a battery backup unit. It's great for scrap. Battery and a little transformer and some wire. These phones, I was at my bin too. And this was at my bin too, Old vintage Samsung television. See, there's the old logo there. It's a VCR combo. I haven't plugged it in yet. Sure, it works fine. And unfortunately, this thing just isn't working very well. Just turning itself off. Got it out. Ah, look at that. Been eaten. Got all ate. I was at that grocery store and we put this thing in the back of the truck, you know, trying to clean up that spot of the loading dock because people were getting it confused with my bin, my drop-off bin. People were dropping stuff off at this thing here, so we threw it in the back of the truck. It's been sitting behind their grocery store for years, so I didn't even ask. Just throw it in there, get rid of it. But I'm actually going to. It's kind of a nice, sturdy little bin. So what I'll do is I'm going to knock off all this wood out here, and you know, cut it there, and then this will be another bin, and I'll use this for the new drop-off bin location, which is in a town that way. So I gutted this thing out. It must have been like some sort of thing that farmers use to carry fruits of some sort. Yeah, so this is it. It's not too sturdy, you know. It doesn't have to be like solid or anything. Just grabs people's attention so that they will see it, and it's just like, yeah, put everything right in there. And so I just kind of reinforced it a little bit. I put like a couple 2x4s on the bottom. Some of those 2x4s that I found yesterday, and then just this big placard billboard where I'm going to put my new sign. Yeah, so I think that'll be great. It's very simple. So all I have to do now is order some signs, order some new signage from Vistaprint. I'm going to get that big main sign there that says Eric's Metal Recycling, and then the other smaller one about what the things that I accept. And I also want to get a smaller one with my Facebook page there. I mainly just have that Facebook page up just for the local community, you know, just to see what I'm doing, and I can always just refer them to one particular spot as well for the internet.